Checks on the way. Checks on the way to millions of Americans as President Trump has finally revealed the details of these $2,000 checks. And millions of struggling families have just one question. When are we actually going to see this money? Right now. It's almost impossible for low-income households to put 3 meals a day on the table for themselves and their loved ones. The affordability crisis is real, and Americans are desperate for relief. So when President Trump announced these dividend checks, people paid attention. But here's the thing. I went through all the announcements, the Truth Social posts, the Oval Office statements, and the expert analysis so you don't have to. And what I found is going to surprise you. Some of it's good news. Some of it's frustrating. But all of it is information you need to know right now. Before we dive in, all I need is just a little favor. Takes 2 seconds. Please hit that like button on this video so more people can see this important information. So without any further ado, let's begin. Let me show you exactly what President Trump announced in the Oval Office. He said, and I'm quoting here, "We're going to issue a dividend to our middle-income people and lower-income people, about $2,000, and we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt." This is huge. President Trump is talking about taking money from tariffs, that's the taxes on imported goods from foreign countries, and sending it directly back to American families as dividend checks. But it gets even more specific. Right after this Oval Office announcement, Trump posted on Truth Social, and this is where we get the real details. He said that a dividend of at least $2,000 per person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. Then he posted again, saying that all money left over from the $2,000 payments made to low- and middle-income U.S. citizens from the massive tariff income pouring into our country will be used to substantially pay down the national debt. Look, if you're still wondering whether these checks are real or whether Trump is serious about this, he's talking about it over and over and over again. This isn't just a one-time mention. He's making this a central promise. Now here's the real important part for you if you're waiting for this $2,000 stimulus check, because we finally have the details on eligibility. Who's going to receive this check? Are you eligible? If you belong to the low and middle income category, meaning if you make $100,000 and less, then you are entitled to receive this $2,000 dividend check from President Trump and this administration. Let me break down who this includes. Single parents working retail or food service. If you are making under $100,000, you qualify. Veterans on VA benefits. You're in. People on Social Security or disability. You're eligible. Unemployed workers. If your income is under that threshold, you qualify. Anyone working full-time but barely getting by. As long as you're under $100,000, you're included. The key phrase is low and middle income U.S. citizens. So if you're making $100,000 or less, according to Trump's announcement, you should be getting this $2,000 check. Now, I know a number of you watching this are thinking, yeah, right, I'll believe it when I see it. And honestly, you're not wrong to be skeptical. Here's why Americans and experts are questioning this whole thing. Just a few months ago, President Trump announced $5,000 worth of stimulus checks. He talked about those checks a couple of times, but right after that, he stopped talking about them completely. Those checks never materialized. So that's why millions of Americans, experts, and analysts are saying this $2,000 check might also be a political stunt. It's happened before, so why should this time be different? What do you think about this? Do you think it's a political stunt, or do you believe President Trump will actually send these checks to millions of struggling Americans? Let me know in the comments below. Now here's the part that broke millions of hearts. Because millions of people heard about this $2,000 check and thought it was coming next week, or maybe next month before Christmas. But President Trump revealed the actual timeline, and it left everyone stunned. On November 17th, Trump spoke with reporters in the Oval Office and shared that individuals of moderate income could expect dividends in the middle of 2026. Let me repeat that, the middle of 2026, not next month, not early next year. We're talking about June, July, maybe August of 2026. That's 8 to 10 months away. Here's Trump's exact words. We are going to be issuing dividends, later on, somewhere prior to probably in the middle of next year, a little bit later than that. Thousands of dollars for individuals of moderate income, middle income. Can you imagine? Americans are in an affordability crisis right now. The recent report from Gallup showed that grocery prices are up 21% in the past 3 years. People can barely afford to eat. And Trump is saying they have to wait another 8 to 10 months for help? Is that even justified by any means? Let me know in the comments below. According to analysts and experts, giving a timeline of mid-next year is madness. Americans need support now, not in 8 months. Saying I'm going to send checks in the middle of next year feels like no less than a joke to families who are struggling to pay rent this month. So here's the real question. Do you actually think President Trump is going to send these checks to Americans? Let me give you the hard truth. For these checks to happen, it's not just about Trump wanting to send them. Here's what needs to happen. Congress has to pass legislation. Trump can't just send out checks on his own. This would require a bill to pass through the House and Senate. And right now, many Republicans in Congress are skeptical or outright opposed to the idea. The money has to be there. Trump says this will be funded by tariff revenue, but analysts are questioning whether tariff income will actually be enough to cover $2,000 for every American making under $100,000. That's potentially $300 billion or more. Legal challenges could block it. There are already questions about whether Trump's tariffs are even legal. If courts rule against the tariffs, there won't be any tariff revenue to fund these checks. The IRS needs time to process payments. Even if everything gets approved tomorrow, it takes months to set up a system to send out hundreds of millions of payments. Remember the COVID stimulus? Even with everyone in agreement, it took months to get checks out. So the middle of 2026 timeline? That might actually be optimistic. You could realistically be looking at late 2026 or even 2027 before any money actually hits your bank account. And that's IF. This all happens at all. Okay, so here's my practical advice for you while this whole thing plays out. Don't count on this money. I know that's hard to hear, especially if you're struggling right now. But you cannot make financial decisions based on a check that might never come. Don't co-sign a loan thinking you'll pay it back with your dividend. Don't skip bills assuming you'll catch up later. Don't quit your job because you think relief is coming. Update your information with the IRS. If these checks ever do happen, they'll go to your most recent address on file. Make sure your information is current. File your taxes even if you don't owe anything, because that keeps your info updated. Protect yourself from scams. This is so important. Scammers are already out there posting on social media claiming you need to register for your payment, or the checks are going out in waves. It's all fake. The IRS will never contact you by email, text, or social media about payments. You will never need to pay a fee to receive a government check. If someone asks for your social security number or bank account to process your payment, it's a scam. Look for help that's available right now. Don't wait 8 months for a check that might not come. Food banks are available today. SNAP benefits might be available to you. LIHAP can help with utility bills. Local assistance programs exist in every community. I want to read you some of what people are saying about this situation because I think it captures how a lot of you are feeling. The consensus seems to be, we're tired of promises. We're tired of timelines that keep getting pushed back. We're tired of political stunts while real families are suffering. Grocery prices are up 21%. Rent keeps climbing. Gas prices fluctuate but never seem to come down to where they used to be. Healthcare costs are through the roof. And politicians keep making promises about relief that's always just around the corner. The question isn't whether we need $2,000. Of course we do. For millions of families, $2,000 would mean catching up on bills, fixing the car, buying winter coats for the kids, or finally going to the dentist for that tooth that's been hurting for months. The question is whether this is real, or whether it's just another carrot being dangled in front of struggling Americans while nothing actually changes. Look, I'm going to be real with you. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you for certain whether these checks will happen or not. What I can tell you is this. Don't let hope for this check stop you from doing what you need to do to survive right now. If it happens, amazing. That's $2,000 you didn't count on that can help you get ahead or catch up, or just breathe a little easier. But if it doesn't happen, and there's a very real possibility it won't, you need to already be taking care of yourself with the resources that actually exist today. Hope is good, but survival is better. So here's what I want you to take away from this video. President Trump has announced $2,000 dividend checks for Americans making $100,000 or less. The timeline is middle of 2026. That's 8 to 10 months away, assuming it happens at all. This requires Congress to pass legislation. It requires the money to actually be there. It requires legal challenges to be resolved. And it requires the IRS to set up a massive payment system. There are a lot of ifs here. And meanwhile, you still have bills to pay and mouths to feed. So don't wait. Don't pause your life waiting for a check that might never come. Apply for SNAP if you're eligible. Visit food banks. Look into utility assistance programs. Check out what your state offers for relief. Use the resources that exist today instead of hoping for resources that might exist next summer. And if this video helped you understand what's really going on with these checks, not the hype, not the promises, but the actual facts, then please hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about cutting through the noise and giving you real information about benefits, assistance, and economic relief. Drop a comment and let me know. Do you believe these $2,000 checks are really coming? Or are you done believing in political promises? And what resources have actually helped you in your area? Let's share information and help each other out. Write "I support $2,000 check" in the comments if you think Trump should follow through on this promise. Your voice matters, and politicians need to hear from real people about what we actually need. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, please take care and have a nice day.